Vlogging every day can be hard. In the past, I've shared tips on how to vlog every day and even have shared some tips on how to be consistent. Today, we are going to dive into what the VEDA challenge is and my advice on how you can do it as a small creator. I will also give you some advice on whether or not you should take this challenge on. Vlogging every day can be a challenge, and for many creators, it can lead to burnout. So what can you do to alleviate that so you can vlog every day and do this challenge in April or in August without a problem? So the first thing that we need to talk about is, what is VEDA? So VEDA is vlogging every day in April or in August. This is a challenge that was set up by creators a few years ago, and it is a way to vlog every day. It's kind of like Vlogmas. I touched on this a while ago and gave you some tips and advice on this. But I wanted to specifically talk about VEDA itself because I know some of you are going into this, and yeah, the vlogging tips from Vlogmas could help you, but what specifically can I do for this specific challenge? What should you do to prepare for this as a small creator? First thing that you want to do is look at your content and see what is working on your channel. For me, if I was to hop in on this trend or this challenge, I would look at my overall analytics, my overall channel overview. Why would I do this? Well, because I want to take a look at the topics that are actually doing well on my channel so that I can double down on those whenever I go to do the challenge. So I take a look at the last 90 days. I've shared this before. I take a look at the last 90 days. I look at the top 10 videos and I say, well, how can I do better on this topic? Or for that matter, how can I do something very close to this topic or relates to this topic that will drive traffic to that other video that's doing well, but also continue to bring in new eyes? So what I want to do is I want to go into those specific videos and see what keywords are popping for each of those videos that are doing well. If the keywords are kind of broad and you can't really work with them, then look at the retention. You want to go in there and see if there's like continuous segments or if there's a spike for some reason and people have watched more of that specific point in a video, and you can see that within each video. Now, when you take a look at that continuous segment or that spike, you'd want to understand why people are watching that piece. For me, I'll look back at that and I'll say, well, how can I do something similar to that topic that I was just talking about? In one of my videos on my other channel, I was talking about collaborations, so maybe I could talk about that in the future. That was a segment that people were watching more of. So you take a look at that and you go back and you say, well, how can I make something similar to that topic? I've done this in the past. I have tons of videos on my channel that I've done this specifically for. Now, another thing you can deep dive into is actually the keywords that are searched for overall on your channel, like all the keywords that come up on your channel. And maybe that can give you some ideas for new topics or topics that you can do during this challenge. Again, like I said, if you want to do well during this time frame, if you are going to vlog every single day, do topics that will stand out, that will be found in search, that people will click on. Now, if you're watching this and the challenge is just about to happen, or it'll happen in a few months, or it's going to happen the next day, just listen. Honestly, if you can't prepare ahead of time, then don't overwhelm yourself. Don't feel like you have to do this. I'm giving you tips and advice on how to do it. Prepare for it in the future if you do choose to do so. The next thing that you want to look into is what is trending seasonally. I've talked about this a lot on my channel and I will talk about it again. We'll dive into this a little bit more. So, for example, if you are doing this challenge in April, what is happening in April? There's lots of holidays that align with that month. There are holidays and there's days specifically designated for, donut day or pizza day, different days of the month that you can touch on. Maybe take a look at what's going on around the world and see what you can do to tie it in. If you have an audience that follows you from the US, look at what's going on for them. What holidays do they have? What designated days do they have? That will be also a way to connect with your audience. So look at your audience, who they are, where they're from in the world. Another way that I've touched on before is to look for the year before. Go back and look at the year before, this time last year in April or May or March, whenever. This time last year, take a look and see what's going on. What were the topics that were trending within your industry? So if you go to lifestyle, there's lots of ways that you can go to do this. You can go to the actual YouTuber's channel and see what they did this time last year, or you can just do a search on YouTube search. Again, I have videos on how to find trends and trending topics, so make sure you go check that out. Next one is you need to plan out the content. Now, I've touched on this in the earlier point, but we'll go into it a little deeper as well. Vlogging every day can actually lead to burnout. And you don't want to do that because you want to continue with your channel. You want to enjoy the content that you're sharing. So having prepared a list of videos ahead of time is really going to help you. Now, you don't necessarily need to script every single video. Even having some videos ready to go lined up so that you're not worried about what you're doing every single day. My advice here is to batch create videos. What that means is you're batching your videos, you're doing them all in one specific day. So for example, for me, I will do 2 videos a week. What I will do is I will script out on Sunday evenings all my videos that I need to do. Then the next day I will film them, which is what's happening today. Now I know every single week I have 2 videos, so I need 2 videos per week. So if I script out and batch film videos for the next 2 weeks, I have 4 videos to create. My advice is to designate a day specifically within your schedule that you can do this. People get hung up on the fact that they can't film, they can't do this, they have to have this, they have to have that. Well, then you need to prepare, you need to plan out videos. Big film producers or anybody that creates content online, they actually have to think ahead and figure out what they're going to say and do. Some people can think on the ball, but for me, this is not happening. For big movies and TV shows, they script everything out. They don't just go in and start talking and away to each other like they have no idea what's going on. They actually have a script. Same goes for you. You need to at least have an outline of what you're gonna do for your videos. This will alleviate the stress and overwhelming thoughts of what's gonna happen the next day, what am I gonna do, how am I gonna do this, that, and the other. So for 2 days, I batch create my content and that helps me for the next 2 weeks. This gives me time to do other things within my business. The next thing is to let your audience know. If you don't let your audience know, they might get a little overwhelmed for one. This is a lot of new content that you're gonna be doing every single day. The second reason is because they may think that your schedule's changed and this is what you're gonna be doing now. So letting them know ahead of time will prepare them mentally for this because honestly, it's a lot of content for them to take in. You also have to prepare your mind mentally that understanding that you may not get the same amount of views every single day. One video might do better than the other, and that's because every single topic is different to the audience, to your viewers, to new people that are coming to your channel. The next one is to incorporate shorts. Now this one is new to the world of YouTube. This is something to test out if you wanted to try it, but I'm putting it in here because not everybody is ready to go for this. And YouTube Shorts is something new that we can try out and test out on our channels if we want to, and it also alleviates a little bit of stress. Now, YouTube Shorts you still need to work on, you need to put the time and effort into because shorter content, you need to have more of a like eye-catching video that keeps the attention. But this is a way to alleviate like long-term stress, like the bigger, longer videos take a lot of work. So something to add in if you want to try. Again, don't do it every single day because YouTube Shorts is a totally different avenue you're going. Want to know more about YouTube Shorts? Check out my playlist on YouTube Shorts. Another one is collaborating with other creators. Guess what? Collaboration actually does help your channel because you're now crossing into another community and you're building a relationship with another creator. This one takes a little bit of work because you're now having to put in the effort of talking and communicating with other creators. So do bear in mind that you need to prepare ahead of time for this collaboration. But again, it's a great way to cross into another community. Finally, the last one, which is a major one that you need to listen into, is that you don't put VEDA in the title or the thumbnail. Here's why. This is a mistake that people make. They think by putting that in the title or the thumbnail that it's gonna grab someone's attention. But in my opinion, when I see VEDA or Vlogmas or any other challenge for that matter in the title or thumbnail, I feel like it's for a specific time frame. So for example, when I'm filming my videos around Christmas time, I try not to have the Christmas tree in the background because I want my content to be evergreen. I want my content to be long-term, not just for a specific season. I'm able to share a piece of content and it continually brings in traffic from throughout the whole year, and I'm not aligning it with Christmas in the back, like the Christmas tree in the background, for example, or aligning it with snow on the ground. I'm having it for an all year round content because not everybody has the same seasons. Not everybody celebrates Christmas. So what I recommend is don't put VEDA in the title or the thumbnail. It will throw people off and they'll not watch it for the year to come. So you want to know, is this helpful for small creators? Well, yes and no. Let me explain. The first reason why it's good for your channel is it gives you lots of information. So now you've put out lots of content, you've put videos up on your channel, and you can see which videos your audience really enjoyed. It gives you more information, it gives YouTube more information about your audience. The second reason is that you get better at editing. Honestly, this is going to give you practice, the under pressure practice of editing on a deadline. Not only that, you get creative, you understand who you are and what you want to do with your editing and connect it with you and the editing style. Those 2 reasons are very important to note, so that it can be good for your channel. Now, the reason why it may not be good for your channel is that you will maybe potentially get burnt out. You vlogging every day, lots of creators have said this, vlogging every day is hard because you're putting out consistent content, you're filming all day, you're putting your focus on the filming, but then that night you have to edit and it goes up the next day and you start all over again. So it's a lot of work. But if you actually listen to the advice that I gave you and prepare ahead of time a little bit, that will help. The other thing that it may not be good for is that you may not see the amount of views that you thought you would. Your audience can only take in so much information, so if you're vlogging every day, if you're putting out content every day, it might be overwhelming to them. But again, letting them know is very important right off the bat. I think if you're ready to do this, definitely go all in with it. It'll be a fun thing to do. It's a challenge that other creators do within YouTube. But make sure you plan, at least have something that you're going to do. And if you decide to do this right before the challenge, don't overwhelm yourself. Take it one step at a time and make sure you try your best. Just do your very best. Okay, that's it for this video. I set up a playlist for you to check out to get subscribers and views. That's gonna help you understand how to get more views and subscribers, traffic to your channel. As always, guys, don't forget to create, adventure, and live to inspire. Have a good one.